Do you struggle with back discomfort and find that your typical stretches and core strengthening aren't working? Let's talk a little bit about your psoas muscle and what that might have to do with it. So I've got a pelvis right here, and you've got your lumbar vertebrae, your low vertebrae. You've got your thoracic vertebrae. They each have a rib attached. And then you've got your upper cervical vertebrae. Those are the vertebrae of your neck. Now take a look at this long muscle here, this psoas muscle, and see how it attaches to all of the lumbar vertebrae, and then it runs down. We've also got this inner muscle, the iliacus muscle. The two of them connect together into the inner thigh, way up at the upper point of that inner thigh bone. These have the job of flexing your hip. Sometimes you hear about your hip flexors being tight. This is what you're talking about. So when your pelvis is still and your psoas is tight, it might bow your spine forward if you're rigid in those muscles. Now think about what we've got here. That can compress your lumbar vertebrae and be pretty uncomfortable. It also makes it hard to activate your core. We've got all of our abdominal organs inside here, wrapped around by your abdominal muscles. And that's going to help support your low back. We want our psoas to be nice and long and strong and taut. Above it here is the diaphragm. That's our breathing muscle, and those weave together. Then you've got your kidneys, and the kidneys are adhered by connective tissue. So we're going to do a lot of exercises today that are going to focus on the kidneys through Qigong and create a long, strong psoas. We're starting with some shoulder circles to loosen up the spine. Just comfortably roll your shoulders, letting your shoulder blades glide around your back. We'll do this a few times each direction, letting your breath get longer and freer in your body. Now let's talk about our stance. We're going to have the feet a little wider than your shoulders, and you want to drop your tailbone. You don't want to stick your bottom out. You don't want to send your knees forward. Just imagine that you are slightly sitting down with the feet right over the bullseye center of your heel. This keeps the low spine long. We begin by opening the gate of vitality. That's the space behind your navel. So I want you to let your arms swing and you just hit the abdomen and back. At this point, you're just letting your pelvis move along with it, allowing yourself to spin and allowing your head to look towards the back. Free up your arms, and we're turning the lumbar spine. The idea here is that your pelvis is going to slightly counter. So when your ribs go one way, your pelvis is resisting and almost going the other way. This brings the rotation into your low back, right along where those psoas fibers are connecting. Now we're moving the hands so you're hitting your chest in the front and your kidney in the back. So this is stimulating the lungs and the kidney, which helps to open up your breath and bring some more energy into the body. Keep your spine vertical as you do this, and allow the movement to be free and easy. Back around the abdomen again. Still feeling those blocks of lumbar vertebrae turning. Now we're hitting just above the pubic bone and right on the center of the sacrum. Again, feeling a natural movement as the hands sweep around the abdomen again. And feel the energy now in your spine. We're going to knock on the sacrum. Just make this an easy movement here. Just give your sacrum a little knocking motion. We're waking it up. And now massage the sacrum. Our sacrum has 8 little holes on the back of it where the nerves come through. We'd like you to imagine that you could breathe through those holes like they're nostrils. Massaging at the top of it, at the bottom of it. There's thick, dense fascia around this area. And we're going to leave one hand now right on the sacrum. The other hand's going to be on the pubic bone. We're going to start rocking the pelvis. Now notice this is not a big movement. We're trying to really isolate to that sacral level. Now picture where that psoas muscle connects. We are utilizing that psoas to move the spine. Now we're going in some circles. It's not a very big circle. Imagine you're drawing circles on the ground with your tailbone. Loosening up the hip sockets a little bit, loosening up the low back. Now inhale and pull up. I want you to draw the energy up, stretch up through your palms, and now go side to side, swaying your spine. Notice I'm not really moving my pelvis here. I'm just moving right around that rib cage area. You don't want to slouch and you don't want to back bend. You should look like you're sliding along a pane of glass, side to side. This movement doesn't need to be big, it just needs to flow. Then stretch forward, letting your knees bend, and grab onto your toes. Relax your neck. Now, we're going to hit the backs of the knees. Just give nice little tapping to the backs of the knees. Slide your hands up to your low back, right around where the kidneys are. That's where your back ribs are. Engage your glutes. Send your hips forward and open your chest. Open the front of the body as much as you can before you cast your spine forward and back down again. Now slide your hands down the back of the leg, over the tops of the feet, and up the inner thighs, up through the groin to the abdomen, right back to those kidneys again. Now we're going to tap on the kidneys. Think of shaking out the kidney filters. Your hands are going to go to your kidneys now. You can bring them forward or back, wherever your hands can go. That depends on your shoulder restriction. Pull up. Really draw the energy up from the ground, up through your feet, up through your pelvic floor. You're going to lift your pelvic floor and lift up onto your toes. As you inhale and then exhale, the heels roll down. Don't stick your bottom out. Curl the tail under and open up your back. Each inhalation should inflate your back into your hands, and we're pumping the calf muscles. That sends the fluid and the blood back up into the body. And we want to breathe in like a vacuum suction, sucking up into your hands. Now inhale, draw the energy in, and exhale, bring it down your body. Open up your feet, pull it up again. Really pull up, lift your pelvic floor, stretch up, and lengthen the spine. Back down again, over to one leg, and then over to the other. Try to wrap your arm around. Now really do bend your knees a lot here, guys. I want your spine to hang. That might mean your knees need to be quite bent to do that. Pull up again. Open the feet a little wider. Find your stance where your hips are level, and then spin your feet. Lift your arm up, a big stretch from that back foot up through your fingertips. That stretches the psoas. Drive down through your foot. Imagine where it connects into your inner thigh and up through those lumbar vertebrae, and stretch up. And then bring it back down. You can do that a few more times, but once is sometimes just enough. Now we're making some bigger circles, moving around just under your rib cage, circling the waist, massaging your abdominal organs. Keep this in a smooth, comfortable range. And now we're going to bring the arms up, lifting up all the energy around you. And turn your hands up towards the ceiling to stretch your spine and collect all the energy as though you're drawing sunlight in through your hands. Let that sunlight fill your palms and your arms, and then turn that to direct it down into the crown of your head, where it fills your brain and your spinal cord. Feel it healing your spine as you draw your hands down, filling your bones and your tissues with healing light, sending everything you don't need down into the earth for recycling. And finally, bring the energy in from all around you, everything you cultivated today, and store it right into the lower abdomen. This is your powerhouse. Give yourself a moment of gratitude. Thank you for being here today.